Hey y'all, my name is Lauren McDuffie. I'm a freshman at UAB in Chem 116. And today, it just came to me and I asked myself, what would happen if I put different plastic or styrofoam things into acetone? So for today, starting off with our materials, we're gonna need some gloves to protect ourselves because safety first, and also goggles, just in case you never know what can happen. I have glasses, so I'm gonna use those as a substitute to goggles. Next, I have some different testing products. I have a piece of styrofoam from a to-go box. I have a plastic knife, and then I have a couple of pieces of hard foam. Next, you're gonna want to have a glass container or a glass bowl, anything that's glass, because as we are testing, it can be plastic or it might just melt away. Or will it? We'll get to that later. I also have a water bottle to test, and then I have the acetone itself. So I'm gonna start off putting on my gloves, and while I do this, I'm just gonna talk about the chemistry behind this experiment. So my question is, will it melt or will it dissolve? And so let's just talk about that. What is acetone exactly? What is it? Well, you might know it from most popularly is used in cosmetics, nail polish remover, which you can go to any drugstore, any Walmart over the counter. You can get acetone, 100% acetone, because it is what's used as nail polish remover 99.9% of the time. Acetone's chemical formula is made up of C3H6O, which is also known as dimethyl ketone, and it is the most simple but the most important ketone of all. Pure acetone is colorless and very flammable, so please be careful when you are handling this. And if you are underage, please do so with a parent. Acetone is a liquid that can dissolve several organic compounds and is used regularly as a cleaning solvent. Okay, enough about the acetone. What do we know about styrofoam or polystyrene? Which styrofoam is just a trade name, it's trademarked. What it actually is polystyrene, which polystyrene, it has air. It has had air pumped through it, and it to increase the total amount of air bubbles. So this is, contrary to the eye, 95% air. Okay, so let's start off. I specifically bought this for this experiment, so I'm just gonna dump the whole bottle in. Okay, so before we get to actually conducting the experiment, let's talk about our hypotheses. If this polystyrene dissolves in acetone, I'm going to predict that then the air bonds that have been in this polystyrene have been released. And we will know if that is true. If my hypothesis is true, we will know because this will then be less or completely disappear depending on the amount of time I have left in here. So first, let's start off with just a simple sample of styrofoam from a to-go box. And we're just going to want to stick it down. And as you can see and or hear, bubbling the sizzling, we can see that the styrofoam is slowly but surely going away. And I'm just going to go straight down to the bottom and let it just completely dissolve. So we can see that we are left with this. And this is another reason why you need gloves, because I'm pretty sure this is not safe to the bare hand. I'm just going to drop that down here. Alright, next up, let's test this harder styrofoam piece block that I have. Again, you can hear it crumbling and cracking. This one is taking a little bit more time because it's heavier. You can hear it. And let's see if I can get this closer up. This is the bottom that have not yet had acetone touch, and then this is the top. you can see the air escaping the styrofoam with your visual eye. And it's becoming thinner and thinner as it wastes away, as the acetone. Look at that. I can make it basically disappear into my hands. Okay, so we see that another form of styrofoam has dissolved into this acetone. How about this plastic knife? Now this is not styrofoam, but plastic itself can also dissolve in acetone if put. Now we do not hear any bubbling, so I'm just going to let that sit in there for a while. Let's try out this water bottle. Again, you can see the difference. There's no sound effects. You can hear a change. Let's check on this knife. I can see a little bit of discoloration. The plastic is definitely reacting, but not in the same way as the styrofoam. See, really nothing has happened. The styrofoam is kind of just wasting the plastic away. Same with the water bottle. Nothing has happened. So, let's talk about what just happened with the to-go box and with the styrofoam. We are done with the experiment part. I can safely remove my gloves. So, what just happened? Contrary to visual effect, the styrofoam itself did not actually melt. For it to melt, that would require heat, and we had no heat. So what happened? The styrofoam dissolves into a liquid rather than melting. I didn't leave mine in there quite long enough for it to completely dissolve into a liquid, but you can see that most of it wasted away. This that is left was not the entire piece of styrofoam that I put in there. So it actually just dissolved straight into the liquid with the acetone. The acetone, what it does, it breaks the bonds that hold the styrofoam together. And since styrofoam is pockets of air, when the bonds are broken, air can then escape, and as this air escapes, the volume of the styrofoam decreases. We saw that earlier when I was holding the styrofoam block, and you can see the contrast in the top of the bottom, which the acetone had not yet quite hid. And you can see the styrofoam thinning, and you can actually see the air escaping as the styrofoam it lost its volume, and you could basically see right through it. So with that test, we can see that our hypothesis was correct. If polystyrene dissolves in acetone, then the air and the bonds have been released, which we visually saw in the acetone foam. So, what did this experiment do? What did we do in this experiment? Well, we did the scientific method, and did you even catch it? 1, we had a question. What causes acetone to allow the styrofoam to dissolve? Number 2, we did our research. What was acetone? What is styrofoam? Number 3, we had our hypotheses. If the polystyrene dissolves in acetone, then the air is in the bonds have been released. Number 4, we conducted our experiment. Number 5, we saw our observations. We saw that the styrofoam, it melted away, it dissolved away, as we learned that there was no heat involved, so it could not have melted away. We saw that the styrofoam from the to-go box, it completely dissolved as well. And we tested a counter with plastic, and we saw that the acetone really didn't do much to the plastic. So, finally, we can conclude that our hypothesis was correct via the dissolved polystyrene. Thanks.